Huh? He said you got with him right away. He's about probably 2 or 3 within a week of having that second boy.
Yeah. Oh, I figured. I figured. I figured you was getting 12:30.
Yeah. Okay.
We found so it's on the same way.
Hi, John.
No.
So if you're and this one actually. So there's no
It's very clear, I think.
I haven't looked at it for a while, but
The only thing that
No, it's actually one day it's like on land. It's like let's get some.
So yeah, it's
get some chicken.
yeah.
whatever. Speaking of you
Yeah.
hold still.
But yeah, I live there. If he's thinking this way, okay.
Yeah, so if you go right at the intersection near where the
It's the only way around.
I mean,
Text myself.
I like that. You see that commercial where they put it on their phone?
Oh yeah.
Takes the sticky note, puts it on. Sorry. You're gonna say hi to your mom again? The over-under, Kenny got the over-under at 6. If people want to.
6 people? All right.
I got the under.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
just give them a little time to cook the trash. Yeah, don't just get it. But other than the artists, I can get a little spot with that. They have a couple of good restaurants like in the middle. Matthew's Corner.
Supervisors meeting to order. Ask Mr. Hathaway to lead us in our invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
Please bow with me in prayer. Our Father and our God, how grateful we are for the privilege of being able to live here in New Kent County, and all of the leaders and all those who make our community what it is. If we gather tonight, Lord God, we ask that you would bless our friends that are in Hawaii and all of those who are recovering from such a tragedy. Bless our time together, bless our leaders, bless our community, and we give you all the praise, glory, and honor. In the name of your Son, we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Hathaway. I appreciate that. Ms. Watkins, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Evelyn?
Here.
Mr. Tiller?
Here.
Ms. Page?
Here.
Mr. Steers?
Here.
And Mr. Lockwood?
Here. Thank you. First on our agenda tonight is the consent agenda. Hopefully everybody has had an opportunity to look through.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Evelyn.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented and that it be made part of the record.
Thank you, Mr. Evelyn. Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members, please?
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Ms. Page?
Aye.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
And Mr. Tiller?
Aye. Next on our agenda is the citizens' comment period. Elizabeth Myers and Karen Tomlin. Y'all both going to speak. I'll ask you to quote your name and your address for the record. We'll give you 3 minutes.
Certainly. My name is Elizabeth Myers. My address for the record is 5203 Linkshire Lane in Providence Forge, Virginia, 23140.
And my name is Karen Tomlin, and I live at 11522 Royal Lane in Providence Forge, Virginia.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Myers, and with me this evening is Karen Tomlin. And not with us this evening is Bonnie Hunt, who will be the tour chairman in 2025, and you'll hear more about the tour as we speak. To make just one side note, and especially for Rodney, the 3 of us are New Kent University alums. And so why are we here? We represent the Three Rivers Garden Club, which is the newest club within the Garden Club of Virginia, an active association of 48 garden clubs with 3,800 members statewide. We're here tonight to provide you information about Virginia Historic Garden Week, which will be coming to New Kent in 2025. So what is Historic Garden Week? It is the country's only statewide house and garden tour, which last year drew 23,000 visitors to the state of Virginia from 45 different states and 12 different countries to 30 communities within the state. Ours will be one in 2025. 2023 was the most successful year for the tour in our 90-year tour history. New this year, there were 3 organized bus tours coming from visitors with Dallas, Seattle, and Memphis to the state of Virginia, demonstrating the national appeal of Historic Garden Week. For the 2024 tour week next spring, Three Rivers is co-hosting with the Ashland Garden Club on Old Church Road, just a few miles from the New Kent-Hanover border. We want you to come away with 2 takeaways this evening. First, the economic impact of Historic Garden Week on the dollars spent at the state and local level. And second, how those funds raised through tour ticket sales benefit the state and local communities. First, the economic impact annually of Historic Garden Week has been measured at over $12.5 million to the Virginia economy. Visitors dine, shop, and explore throughout the state. New Kent has much to offer these visitors coming, especially our local wineries, restaurants, and event venues. Since 1929, Historic Garden Week proceeds have funded the restoration and preservation of more than 50 Virginia's historic public gardens and landscapes. The Virginia State Parks have initiated 54 projects made possible through 4 grants by the Garden Club of Virginia. In closing, we'll be leaving you with a copy of last year's guidebook, which describes the 2023 tours and advertising by local businesses within each tour area. We'll finish. An independent study brochure is also of the economic impact with more facts that I did not mention this evening, 3 minutes. And finally, a description of the Three Rivers Garden Club here in New Kent, which is bookmarked for our co-hosted tour last spring. Thank you for your time tonight. We appreciate your future support in the 2024 and 2025 tours. Truly, Garden Club of Virginia members hosting visitors at tour homes and gardens represent the very best of Virginia hospitality. Thank you.
Love your enthusiasm. Next on our agenda is the Residency Administrator's Report. Mr. Wynn.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, this past month we had 107 work orders, completed 149, had 7 call-outs, started primary mode today. We'll go work on the 2-lane sections first this week and probably move to the 4-lane sections next week. That'll be the 3rd cycle of that primary mode. 2nd cycle of secondary mode will start September 11th. Been doing regular maintenance throughout the month, pothole, asphalt repairs, grading on hard surface roads, shoulder repairs, pipe installs and repairs, tree removal, pruning and cleanup, sign replacement and cleaning, litter debris, litter pickup and debris removal, along with everything else that comes up. Other than that, I don't have anything else other than Mr. Teller tried to call you this morning, so couldn't get through to you. Huh? Okay. Check your voicemail.
Yes, sir. We can relate.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn, for being here tonight, taking time away from your busy schedule. The only thing I have is 64 eastbound ramp as you come off to 155. When you look back to the left, there's some young saplings that are growing in the median there, and people are having to pull out into the traffic on Courthouse.
Under the bridge you're talking about?
Yes, sir, right by the bridge there.
Okay.
And a shout out to Joe Terry. Last week was not the secondary mowing for the specialty mowing for Kentland Trail, but I pleaded with him because the governor was coming to our county, and bless his heart, he got out there and got it mowed.
Well, that specialty mow is supposed to start tomorrow, so just to let you know,
I know.
Maybe they'll cut it again.
Hope so. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having that meeting last week with myself and county staff. Thought it was productive. On Route 60, I don't know whose district that is. I happened to see it today when I was leaving work. What's the route number coming from Woodhaven and 60?
640.
Okay.
This big tree right there. Beaver is working to death on that thing. If he keeps on working, he's
In the
gonna have that
swamp
thing
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's right on the edge of the road.
Okay.
So
We'll take a look at that
you
too.
might want to look at that. It's a pretty decent sized tree. He's working on it pretty good. Yeah. And I noticed some trees on Tallysville and Old. Are y'all going to take out some? And they look like dead trees that you all have flagged up. Are
Yeah,
You, are you
if
in the
they're-
process of taking some trees out down it?
Yeah.
That way.
Did you see tape on them?
Yes, sir.
Black and white tape?
Yep.
Yeah, they're coming down.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
That's it.
On Tabernacle and Holly Fork Road, at the intersection there, prior to the work that was done last year, the stop sign was always on Holly Fork Road at Tabernacle. When they did the work, one day the sign moved and is now at the corner of Tabernacle, so Holly Fork has the right of way. It's been disturbing to people that have lived there for a long time because the sign just moved.
I don't know.
I don't know why. I don't know what the history was or whatever, but just looking at traffic patterns, most of the traffic is down Tabernacle onto Holly Fork or vice versa. So the stop sign where it had previously been, fewer people had to stop, so it was more convenient. It was kind of a weird place for them
Yeah,
to move it to.
I don't even know how that happened, but I'll check into it with Philip and Jason.
Okay.
Try to get that taken care of.
And then further down Holly Fork, same intersection, but down Holly Fork as you're heading towards James City County, there's an awful lot of overgrowth over the road. It's narrowed down to the point where two cars can't pass
Okay.
without clipping mirrors and stuff like that. So if we can
That's
get somebody down-
probably Johnson grass growing in there.
and some
That's
stuff
it.
growing up into the trees and overhanging the road
Okay.
too. Yep.
We'll take
Should be
care of that.
pretty obvious. Thank you.
So did you call about 9:29 this morning?
I called you 2 or 3 times.
There's a two beside your name.
Okay.
At least twice.
And then I thought he was going to bring it up when he was talking about Old Roxbury Road. I know several months ago to ask you about seeing the back of those wrong way signs or whatever they were. They have moved them because
Yes.
now if you pull up to the stop bar, you have a good open view all the way to the stoplight. So I
Right.
appreciate y'all taking care of that.
Okay.
But they do need to remark that stop bar.
Okay.
It's not much of it there.
Understood.
So, but that's all I had.
All right. I'll try to call you again.
I'm gonna go back because I've got your number listed with your name, but you call me from that number and I don't know who it is.
From a cell number?
640?
Yeah, that's my cell number.
Oh, okay, I'll go back and add you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Do we want to do the closed session before we do the presentation? Get started? All right, let's do that. Let's get that out of the way. I think Mr. Lockwood has a motion.
I do. Mr. Chairman, I move to go into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-371129 for discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds and discussion of the terms of the scope of such contract, where discussions in open session would adversely affect the bargaining position of the governing body, specifically the award of the contract for the construction of an animal shelter.
Thank you, Mr. Lockwood. Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members?
Ms. Page? Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
And Mr. Tiller?
Aye. We should be back shortly.
Unless they do something else now. I'm old. I'm tired. Yeah. I mowed the lawn Friday night before we went to eat.
We have a motion to come back into open session.
And identified in the motion to go into closed session were heard, discussed, or considered in closed session.
Was that to come back into open session, or was that the? Oh. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I got it all. Can we do both motions at the same time?
Okay, the first one I'm going to call for is for the reconvene.
Okay.
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood? Aye. Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Ms. Page? Aye. And Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
And now I'm calling for the certification. Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Ms. Page? Aye. Mr. Steers?
Aye.
And Mr. Tiller?
Aye. Next, we have a presentation for Resolution R-21-23, consideration of exemption request from Section 91-126A6 of the New Kent County Subdivision Ordinance for the Moran Family Subdivision. Ms. LeDuc.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I had Mr. Vaughn pull it up on the screen so it's a little easier to look at. Tonight you'll consider an exception request from Section 91-126A6 of the subdivision ordinance to waive provisions specifying the construction of a new permanent deeded 50-foot right-of-way built to public standards for the proposed Moran family subdivision. In 2016, the Board of Supervisors adopted Ordinance O-16-16, which allows for such exceptions. The request in your packet is to allow each of the proposed 3 lots that you see here to have a separate driveway onto Piney Slope Lane. Piney Slope is a private road, therefore VDOT didn't have any comments on this request. The Planning Commission considered this request at their meeting on July 17th and voted 6-0 to forward a favorable recommendation to the board. And Resolution R-21-23 is before you for your consideration. Mr. Moran is here tonight if you have any questions for him or for me.
Anybody have any questions before we have the, well, this is not a public hearing, never mind. Any questions? Comments?
So this is off Mount Pleasant?
Yeah, it branches off of Mount Pleasant,
Yeah.
which is Bell House, and then it turns into Piney Slope. We're on Piney Slope. And it's such a horrible ravine right at the back of those properties that it really wouldn't even be feasible to try to do a 50-foot right away. And fortunately, we have quite a bit of road frontage on that private road.
So you're creating these lots for your kids?
Yes. My lot is the 5-acre lot that you don't see over on the bottom left. And then the one next to it will be for my son.
Okay.
Questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Steers?
Yes, sir. I move to approve Resolution R-21-23.
Thank you, Mr. Steers. Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members, please?
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Ms. Page? Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
And Mr. Tiller?
Aye. Next on the agenda, public hearing, item 2. Why's that? Oh, dear. All right, well, let's carry on. Keep telling y'all we need to change it to 6:30. With all that being considered, then, elected official reports. Mr. Steers, you have anything?
The only thing is this past Saturday, we had a great day welcoming our governor to New Kent County for the Secretariat Race Day. And I want to thank Matt Smolnick and his group for a superb job they did putting this event together. And I think it was enjoyed by everybody that was there. Thank you.
Mr. Evelyn?
Yes, a few things, Ms. Tiller. On Saturday, the county was presented a certificate of recognition from the governor. So we had a lot going on with the governor this weekend. It was Virginia Farmers Market Week, so he gave us a resolution here. And I accepted it with Mr. Hathaway, Krista Utzi, and Dr. Omar Faison. And Joe Guthrie, the commissioner of the Virginia Department of Agriculture, actually presented the certificate to us underneath the farmers market. So it's pretty neat. He got out there and he walked around and met all the vendors, and he spent 30 minutes or 45 minutes there at least buying stuff. So it's pretty neat. So I'll just read a little bit of the, I think they gave 4 or 5 of these out throughout the state doing Virginia Farmers Market Week, and we happened to be one of them. But I do think he was going to the horse track, the commissioner, after after he presented this. So Virginia Farmers Market Week. Whereas there are 249 farmers markets in Virginia that provide the public with a convenient, fresh, price source of high-quality fruits, vegetables, eggs, honey, herbs, flowers, organic items, cheeses, baked goods, meats, homemade preserves, and more. And whereas the economic impacts of farmers market include direct benefits to farmers and affiliated businesses, while also helping to stimulate the local economy by keeping dollars in the local community, enhancing civil engagement, and preserving farmland throughout the economic viability. And whereas over 100 farmers markets in Virginia offer an excellent agro-tourism experience, as vendors are provided an opportunity to educate the public on agriculture, farming practices, and environmental stewardship, to include the conservation of land, water, and other natural resources. Now, therefore, I, Glenn A. Youngkin, do hereby recognize August 6th through 12th, 2023 as Farmers Market Week in our Commonwealth of Virginia, and I call this observance to the attention of our citizens. So that was presented to us Saturday.
Thank you, Mr. Evelyn.
And I'm also hosting a Meet the Candidate. It's getting that time of year on August 30th at New Kent Winery at 6:30. So I invite anybody out there to who wants to come hear a little bit about my campaign. I invite you to come out at 6:30 to the New Kent Winery. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Evelyn. Mr. Lockwood?
It has been busy in the county. On August 5th, Proclaiming Grace Outreach had their 16th annual, their Sweet 16 Jenna Bash. So they've done this 16 times so far. And the funds that are raised are used in all of New Kent County and Upper James City County. They provide home repairs, car repairs. They operate the food pantry. They do a backpack program. They do scholarships in James City County and New Kent. And they also make a donation each year from the Jenna Bash to the Humane Society and the New Kent Animal Shelter. So It was an amazing day. The weather was perfect. The turnout was incredible. There were so many little kids, everybody just having a wonderful time. And it was very well supported by the community again. So I just want to express my appreciation to anybody that took the time to come out and contribute to this very worthy organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lockwood. Ms. Page?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to say that this time of year is relay time. Relay for Life is the fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. This year it will be on September the 23rd from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. over at Colonial Downs. So we encourage you to come out and support and in any way that you feel that you would like to support, whether it be your presence, of course, your donations, and just have a good time and just see what Relay is about and just support those that have fought and are fighting the battle. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Page. And I'd like to add to what Mr. Steers was talking about too on Saturday with Mr. Smolnick and his staff. You did a marvelous job down there. It was very enjoyable, and there was a lot going on because I actually left that event and went to the shrimp feast in Providence Forge. And I know the county fair was Saturday morning as well as the market. So it's a busy, busy place. So thank everybody for attending any or all of the events that took place this past weekend. Next on the agenda is staff reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I do want to bring to your attention and to the attention of the community that on September 11th, we will be hosting our annual September 11th ceremony at 8 o'clock here on the courthouse steps. So we hope that you're able to attend. And of course, that will be led by our public safety officers. So we're looking forward to that. I also have 2 budget transfer motions. You should have them in front of you. The first one is for the transfer of $11,000 for professional marketing services. This is for a contract with Captured Media, which will be utilized to keep current and fresh information on our web pages and market. It'll allow us to produce marketing material and again update our various web pages in the county. Captured Media, you might be familiar with. They did the videos for our Independence Day ceremony, which came out very, very well. So that's motion 1.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Steers.
I move to approve the proposed budget transfer in the amount of $11,000 for professional marketing services.
Thank you, Mr. Steers. Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members, please?
Ms. Page? Aye. Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
And Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
Thank you. The second item I have is a one-time payment to Quinn Rivers Incorporated, a nonprofit community foundation here in the county, a community development organization here in the county. A one-time payment of $21,628. This payment is to assist Quinn Rivers with their lease and relocating expenses, who will be relocating outside of this complex to office space in Henrico County. This move will help Quinn Rivers kind of centralize their service area, but it will also help the county as well as providing much needed office space for us, which we hope to move in by the end of the year.
That's great. And we need a space. Yes, we do.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Page.
Mr. Chairman, I move to authorize the payment of $21,628 to Quinn Rivers, Inc. for the purpose of assisting with their lease and relocation expenses in accordance with the lease termination and lease agreement between New Kent County and Twin Rivers, Inc., and to transfer this funding from the reserve for contingency line item.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members?
Mr. Steers?
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood?
Aye.
Mr. Evelyn?
Aye.
Ms. Page? And Mr. Tiller?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any other business?
No, sir.
Ms. Ledoux? Mr. Michaelitis, you have anything for us? Anybody?
No, sir, I have none.
Mr. Lockwood? Ms. Page? Mr. Evelyn? And I have none. Well, moving right along. Well, if you can slow it down by 13 to 14 minutes, yes. If not, I guess we'll take a short break till 7 o'clock until we can have our public hearing. Well, I was kind of grouping them all together. How about appointments not delegated by district? Anybody? No. Okay. How about regional boards and commissions? No. Okay, so here we are 30 seconds later. We're in the same place we were in just a minute ago.
Yes.
So thank you all. We'll take a short break now that we're not doing that. Thank you.
You got it. You got it.
So Amy,
Last item on the agenda tonight is public hearing. ZM-02-23, Havarin Smith Rich, ordinance 012-23. Ms. Leduc?
Okay, thank you, sir. I put up another picture so you can see the property that we're talking about off Clint Lane, 249 in Clint Lane. Miss Allison Heverin and Scott and Kim Rich have requested the rezoning with proffers of approximately 31 acres of land from EO to A1. The subject property is located off Clint Lane near the interchange at exit 205. Clint Lane is a 1.5 lane road that currently serves this parcel and some adjacent farmland. The property is mostly covered in RPA, as you can see, and has approximately 5 usable acres in the front along the road. The purpose of their rezoning request is to allow the property to be developed with 1 single-family residence and, per the proffer statement, shall not be further subdivided. The future land use map designates this area of the county around exit 205 as economic opportunity. Many of the parcels in this area were rezoned by the county back in 2009. However, not a lot of detail was given to potential RPA or wetlands on particular parcels during that process. The application was reviewed by all of the reviewing agencies, and their comments can be found in your staff memo. The Planning Commission considered this application at their meeting on July 17th and voted 6-0 to forward a favorable recommendation to the board. The applicants are here tonight if you have any questions. Ordinance O-12-23 is before you for your consideration. And just to explain the picture, the green is RPA that runs right through the middle of the 30 acres, and then the blue on the east side, that's RMA. Did you all want to address the board? Okay.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Leduc before we open the public hearing? If not,
Actually, I do.
okay.
I'm just curious because it looks like the lot across Clint Lane is also an economic opportunity, and it almost looks like there's even more RPA on that site. So is it?
That's true.
We seeing a trend here, or is that lot that's even across the street from that even going to be developable for anything?
That's a very good point, sir. Yeah, this whole area around the 205 interchange back in 2008, 2009 was part of the county's comprehensive rezoning process. So all of these properties basically got zoned EO. We didn't look at particular parcels to see what kind of wetlands or RPA they had on them. Okay. We did give them a chance, some of you will remember, to come back during the rezoning process to talk to us and see why did my property get rezoned. And we did have a lot of people that came by and said, I can't develop this anyway, but a lot of them did remain EO.
Okay. That's all, just curious. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know this track is next to the big Williams track. It's got some potential for some development.
It does.
In the future. But the access, I know that right now there's access right past us to get back in there, but once that's developed, that would not be the access to the Williams track. It would have to come off Dispatch or 249 between the bank there somehow. Is that correct? This would mess up access to getting into the Williams track.
No, this would not impact the access to the Williams track. I do believe, like you said, between the bank and Fastmart, they are retaining a right-of-way there to get back there, and there's also road frontage on Dispatch.
And I can't imagine that even down the road that we would even consider running water and sewer down that, even to that, what little bit of EO land is any good.
Yeah, my understanding, and I did confirm with Mike Lang, there is sewer in the vicinity, no water though. But he would tell, the applicant is prepared to do a septic and a well for this parcel.
All right, well, if there are no other questions, I will open the public hearing. Application ZM-02-23, ordinance O-1223. Have a sign-up sheet?
No,
Alrighty, so I'll close the public hearing. And if anybody has any questions for the landowners, I'm sure they'd be willing to answer anything we have at this point.
Mr. Chair,
I was going to say, yes, Mr. Lockwood.
I got a motion. Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt ordinance O-12-23.
Thank you, Mr. Lockwood. Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members, please?
Mr. Lockwood,
Aye.
Mr. Evelyn,
Aye.
Ms. Page, Mr. Steers.
Aye.
And Mr. Tiller.
Aye. Well, that is all for the agenda for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate it. The next regular scheduled meeting for the Board of Supervisors will be held at 6 p.m. on September the 19th, and the next work session will be held at 9 a.m. on September the 26th, both here in the boardroom. And if anybody has another motion, I would gladly accept that. Thank you, Ms. Page. Ms. Watkins, would you poll the members?
Mr. Evelyn,
Aye.
Ms. Page, Mr. Steers,
Aye.
Mr. Lockwood,
Aye.
and Mr. Tiller.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.